starring Jimmy Fallon. You guessed it, it's Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, hey there. You made it. Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure you get through this experience. You got the very best guy.
Sydney.
And the greatest driver.
Eric.
They're the best. I love them. Even though
Sydney.
owes me $5. I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
That's right, Jimmy. Thank you very much. We do have some safety rules to go over today. First, if you need guest assistance or have a medical emergency, if you drop something of value off the side of the tram, or if you have any sound or video issues, reach up and grab the red emergency cord that runs along the center of the ceiling of the tram, and I'll be back to assist you as soon as it's safe to do so. Otherwise, during the entire tour, please remain seated, keeping your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. The studio is private property, and at any time during the tour you drop your phone or you just can't wait to use the restroom, pull the cord and remain seated. Please no smoking of any kind during the tour.
It's a really cool land.
Be prepared. Our tour today features loud noises, fire effects, and many water effects, so you may get wet. There are also some tram movements during the tour, so secure your personal belongings and hold on. Finally, for your safety and the safety of those around you, please do not use selfie sticks while you're on board. All right, my friends, if you take a look at the right-hand side of our tram here, you'll see some movie posters. This is what we call our Universal movie timeline. Here at Universal, we've made over 8,000 films, so this is just a small handful of some of our favorites from the very beginning of 1915 all the way up until modern times. On March 15th, 1915, our founder Carl Laemmle opened the gates of Universal Studios to the public, and we were dubbed the strangest city in the world. Here at Universal, we truly are a city. We have our very own fire station, sheriff substation, emergency services, and even our own zip code. The only things that make our city any different from yours is that we have no permanent residents here, and we're dedicated entirely to making movies. We're now heading into our front lot, which is very close to our sound stages here at Universal. A sound stage is an empty warehouse-type building that's always completely soundproof. We can construct any type of set that we need to inside our sound stages, and we can even make the inside of the building look like the outside. This first sound stage here to our left is Sound Stage 12. It's our oldest and largest sound stage on our lot. It's about 30,000 square feet on the inside that we can use for filming. Stage 12 was formerly home to The Voice on NBC. Taylor Swift filmed her music video in there, and it was also the site of Frankenstein's laboratory and Dracula's castle and some of our classic monster movies. The next few sound stages off to the left-hand side of our tram are our first group of TV sound stages on our lot. This is where we filmed shows like The Kelly Clarkson Show and Grand Crew starring Nicole Byer. We recently used these to film a show called Bel Air. It's a dramatic retelling of The Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
I thought that show was okay.
The fourth and final season last summer and premiered last fall on Peacock, which is Universal streaming service. We actually filmed lots of different shows for Peacock here on our lot, including one of our newest shows, The Paper.
That's like it's The Office.
We're here on the lot where we film The Paper, which follows our characters' day-to-day lives as employees of a small newspaper.
That's right. Unlike many other TV shows, The Paper uses multiple cameras and a variety of shot types and movements to give our show a true documentary feel.
Because the camera is always around whenever we're on the set. It's important that we stay in character.
Yeah, Oscar, what's your favorite part of working on the lot?
I wasn't expecting this to ask me again. You know what? I love being around talented, wonderful, hilarious people. So get to work with Chelsea Fry. How about you, Chelsea? What's your favorite?
Oh, I love waving to the trains.
You can probably stop the waving now. Yeah?
And if you recognize Oscar Nunez in that video, he played Oscar on The Office. He is now playing the same character of Oscar on The Paper. Off to the left-hand side of our tram, we're passing by Soundstage 14. It's another one of our older stages here on our lot. Stage 14 was formerly used for some of the biggest sets for some of the biggest films like Jurassic Park and Apollo 13. In more recent years, though, it's made the switch to television. It was home to the workplace comedy Superstore for many years. Our next group of TV sound stages on our lot is here to our right-hand side. We're using this to film Hacks for HBO Max. It's a Universal television production. Universal Studios as a whole, though, is a part of NBC Universal, one of the world's leading entertainment companies. It includes things like Universal Pictures, Focus Features, Peacock, and NBC Television. This year, NBC is celebrating its 100th anniversary. From trailblazing radio and television to every beloved show you can think of, NBC has been the home of entertainment, news, and sports for an entire century, so we're excited to celebrate our network all year long. Coming up on the left-hand side of our tram here, you're going to see everybody's favorite teddy bear, Ted. He's out there toasting us with his favorite beer, and that's because he's really excited that he has his own show. It's streaming exclusively on Peacock, and they're currently hard at work on season 2, which is set to premiere this spring. Also, off to the left-hand side of our tram here, we're passing by a few buildings that we call our production bungalows. These were formerly used as dressing rooms for stars in the 1950s and 60s, but now they're used as offices for various production companies. When it comes to making movies and TV shows, there's 3 phases of production. We have the pre-production phase, which is things like writing, budgeting, and casting. Production is any active filming. Post-production is things like editing and sound and visual effects. Here at Universal, we do have the facilities to do all 3 phases, but most of that pre-production phase takes place here inside the bungalows. Some of the production companies that use our facilities here are Illumination Entertainment. They've obviously Minions and Despicable Me movies. Kevin Williamson, who runs Outer Banks Entertainment, has a bungalow on the lot. He also wrote my favorite scary movie, Scream. And Mark Black Productions is here. They've had some big films come out over the last few years, Wicked and the sequel, Wicked for Good. With that, we are heading into our quiet zone, so I will be jumping off my microphone. I'll be back in a few. I'll still be playing videos for y'all. I'm just going to have to turn the sound down on those.
Filming on the New York. Over there. Up here on the left. The New York back lot. There's base camps over there. Do our King Kong part. Put on like glasses and blurry image.
Alright, my friends, well, we're here on Skull Island. I can jump back on my microphone, and things can get a little wild here. So while we're inside, please stay seated and hold on tight. Hang on to any loose items. Keep your arms and legs inside the tram, and no flash photography or video. It makes the animals just a little angry.
The Universal Tram is winding its way through a very rough, narrow trail in Skull Island, allowing the visitors a little sneak peek at some of the wildlife of Skull Island. In a sense, this is like a mini sequel, a mini continuation. We are just taking the Kong and Skull Island and the dinosaurs that we established in our feature film, and this is, another day, another incident on Skull Island.
our quiet zone, so I'm going to be jumping off my microphone, and I'll be back again in just a few.
There you go. I will stream it. It is. They were filming this yesterday. Oh.
Officially out of that quiet zone. Again, they were filming an area of our lot that we call our Metropolitan. They've been working on a top secret production out there the last few weeks. So that's what they were filming out there today. Off to the left-hand side of our tram, on the other side of this little lake, we have our sound stages where we film Happy's Place. Those are right next door to the sound stages where we currently film The Voice for NBC. And this little lake that's here is what we call Park Lake. It's not just here on our lot to look pretty. We do also use it for filming. It was used most famously as the Amazon River in Creature from the Black Lagoon. And that was one of our classic monster movies here at Universal. It's actually my favorite of our monster movies. And those films really were our bread and butter from the 1930s to about the 1950s. The reason I'm bringing up those monster movies is because this next area of our lot that we're going to see is called Little Europe. And our Little Europe sets were used to film a lot of our monster movies. You can see Little Europe in movies like The Bride of Frankenstein and The Wolfman, starring Lon Chaney Jr. as the Wolfman. In more recent years, this area was converted into the afterlife, but don't worry, everything is fine because you're in The Good Place. Our Little Europe sets were converted into The Good Place for the NBC television show. Off to the left-hand side of our tram in the distance, you'll see a fountain. That was the clam chowder fountain. And this white building on our left with the red and blue windows and doors was the yogurt shop. Not only are we at the Good Place right now, though, we're also the beautiful country of Genovia. We're traveling the parade route from Disney's Princess Diaries to A Royal Engagement. Disney also used these sets to film scenes for the Pirates of the Caribbean films. We just passed through parts of both Port Royale and Tortuga. This courtyard here to our right-hand side is our Court of Miracles. Even though we used the entirety of our Little Europe sets to film scenes for our monster movies, our Court of Miracles here truly was the birthplace for characters like Dracula and the Hunchback of Notre Dame. The reason why we would stay here and film on our little Europe sets rather than filming on location is a pretty simple one. It's just a lot easier for us to stay here. These sets can be any country that we need them to be just by changing the languages on the signs. And in addition to that, most of the buildings around us here are not real buildings at all. They're what we call facades. That means that it's really only the exterior walls of a building. So most of these sets don't have an interior, or if they do, it's pretty minimal. So we can only use these sets to film exterior scenes. Any interior scenes we want to film have to be constructed inside our sound stages. That makes Little Europe a great spot to get all of those exteriors filmed in one location, usually over the course of just 1 or 2 days. Then we can head right back down the road into our front lot and film all of our interior scenes inside sound stages. Now, really quick, I did just want to let everybody know our tour is approximately at the halfway mark, so I wanted to remind everybody to please stay seated during the entire tour. The studio is private property, so if you have an emergency of any kind, pull that red cord and I'll be back to assist you. Now, I do have a really cool surprise for you all. We actually get to go inside a real working soundstage today. This is Soundstage 50. It's our most popular soundstage because it's our only 2-level soundstage. That means that we can have sets built in here on each floor, and we do have a set in here right now. They're filming a movie called Subway Surfers, but they're not filming today, so they're letting us bring our trams in here to see what a real active movie set looks like. While we're right here, though, I would just like to remind everybody, please stay seated, hang on to those loose items, your arms and legs inside the tram.
Okay, right?
Just don't want to drop anything.
I might get
wet. While we're in here, maybe not to redo all the hard work on this set. Now, as you can see here on the ground level of this soundstage, they built a subway station set that I do see on either side of our tram. Sure, it's fine. This is Southern California. We get little tremors all the time. Hey, this could be a good one. Hang on, everybody. Congratulations, everybody. You just survived the earthquake, the big one. We officially opened this attraction in 1989, but a couple years ago we gave it a complete Hollywood makeover. We updated all the props and movie-making equipment in there in order to really bring that set into the 21st century. And just like a real soundstage, we can quickly reset everything we saw in there in order to film the next take, or in our case, in order to let the next tram come through and experience the attraction. Now, I do feel a little bad that I didn't warn any of you about what was going to happen in there, so to make it up to you, I thought we could do something really fun together today. You know, the sun is out, it's a gorgeous day, it's perfect beach weather, so let's take a nice relaxing trip to the beautiful seaside town of Amity. And listen, I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute, Sid, isn't Amity the town with the shark problem? Yeah, it is. It is. But don't worry, they caught him. He's, oh yeah, look at that, he's over there hanging out, smiling. Just to be safe though, we do have a diver in the water today. His name's George. He's swimming around, making sure everything's okay. You all see that fin out there too. Okay, there's another shark in the water. Hey, George. Yeah, I'm so sorry to bother you. Can you just check on that, make sure everything's good?
Little guy.
Oh, that's disgusting. Kids, have your parents' eyes. Okay, we're gonna find somewhere safe to hide. Up here behind these flammable gasoline cans looks perfect. I do want to remind everybody though, please stay seated because if you stand up, the shark might see us, and that is not good. Give a big round of applause to Bruce, our shark! Bruce is the name that we gave our shark because it's the nickname that Steven Spielberg gave to his shark while filming the movie Jaws. He named his shark Bruce after his lawyer, Bruce Raymer, who still happens to be his lawyer to this day. Bruce the Shark sounds familiar to anybody in the Disney Pixar film Finding Nemo. They paid homage to us here at Universal by naming one of their sharks Bruce too. Now, here to tell you a little bit more about Bruce the Shark and the construction of the Jaws attraction is Steven Spielberg.
The Jaws ride was almost the inevitable result of the size of the box office when Jaws first opened in June of 1975. And that was really the first time I ever got involved in the creation of a ride. It was a great honor to be invited into a creative circle of tremendous designers at Universal that were trying to figure out how to replicate what the movie had done to audiences in a real way by building a physical shark that would come out of the water and terrify tourists as they were sitting in the tram. And the most amazing thing about the Jaws ride is it is exactly as it was from the time it was first placed on the Universal lot. There have been tweaks, of course, over the years, but it is essentially what the designers and myself all envisioned and created. I'm done bashing the shark. Thank you, Jaws, for everything you've done for me. But I will say, consistently, the shark did work much better on the tour than it did in the Atlantic Ocean in 1974.
Now we're heading into our more residential area of our back lot. This White House here to our right-hand side is our chicken ranch, and this is what we would call a practical set. That means that unlike a facade, it is completely constructed on the inside as well as the outside. So we can use a house like that one to film interior and exterior scenes in one location. This next area of our lot that we're going to see is one of my personal favorite spots out here. It's one of our neighborhoods called Colonial Street. It's a little bit better known as Wisteria Lane from Desperate Housewives. And it's really cool that we get to bring our tram down here today because this is one of the most popular areas on our lot that people like to rent out for filming. So a lot of times it's actually closed off to us for our studio tour. For about half of last year, we couldn't bring trams down here because they were filming one of Peacock's newest shows called The Burbs. It's a reboot of the Tom Hanks film of the same name, which was also filmed here on Colonial Street. So it's only right that we filmed the reboot here as well. That reboot stars Keke Palmer and it is currently streaming.
Welcome to Ashfield Place, the safest town in America. So, what's the deal with that Victorian news? There have been whispers of murder. Which one of us is the murderer? So are we gonna go in?
Do white ladies love salads? Hell yeah, we're going in.
And I'm only 3 episodes in, so no spoilers, but it is very good so far. I definitely recommend checking it out if you haven't yet. Some of the other more recent places where you've seen Colonial Street throughout the years would be our Ted show, also on Peacock. Ted and his family live here on Colonial Street. And then a few years ago, Amazon Prime released a holiday film called Candy Cane Lane starring Eddie Murphy. That movie also did a lot of filming here on Colonial Street, and it was really cool for us to see while they were filming because all of these houses were decorated with holiday lights and decor. Some of my favorite projects that have filmed here on Colonial Street are Smash Mouth's All-Star music video and the 1970s Hardy Boys TV show. Both the Hardy Boys house and Nancy Drew's house were on Colonial Street. As you can see, we have officially left the suburbs behind, and it sort of looks like we're heading into the middle of nowhere right now. This is an area of our lot that we've nicknamed Wilderness Road, and it's a really great spot for us to film scenes where characters are hiking or camping somewhere. It looks enough like the great outdoors, but it maintains the amenities of our film studio like food and bathrooms. The Netflix film Bird Box with Sandra Bullock used the Woodster off Wilderness Road to film scenes for a makeshift campsite, and the TV show 911 with Angela Bassett filmed a limousine crash scene here on Wilderness Road. Now, just to give everybody a quick heads up, we got about 10 minutes left in our tour, so we'll be returning to the theme park shortly. Once again, if you have an emergency of any kind, pull that cord and I'll be back to assist you, but please do remain seated on the train. Now, that limousine that they brought in to film that episode of 911 here on Wilderness Road is what we would call a picture car. A picture car is any vehicle that appears on screen in a film or TV show. It doesn't just have to be a car. It could be a tram like ours, a boat, or even an airplane. And picture cars are really useful when we're filming here on our sets on our lot, because it can make our sets look a lot more like real cities rather than just movie sets. Some of my favorite picture cars that we have out here on either side of our tram. I love the Orange Julius over here from Too Fast, Too Furious. That was also the very first car that Vin Diesel drove on screen in the first Fast and Furious movie. It just had a different paint job in that film. We also have some of the Whoville cars from Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Those were actually built around golf carts. Now, another movie that comes to my mind when I think of a picture car is the 1960 film Psycho. Talking about Marion Crane's car. That's the one that she drove to the Bates Motel. It got dumped in a swamp. Both the car and motel in question are here to the right-hand side. The manager, Norman Bates, I've never met him before, but he's standing out on the porch. Huh. I didn't think he was working today. I wonder what he's up to. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's so thoughtful. He's bringing the sleeping woman out to her car. Oh, wait a minute. That's not. She wasn't asleep, was she? Do you think he saw us? Oh yeah, he saw us. It's cool, Norman. We didn't see anything. We're just getting out of here. And what do you have? He's got a knife. We gotta go. Norman, I knew you were trouble. I'm so sorry. Man, those are close when we got out of there just in time. Still though, I think we should continue up this psycho path and keep putting some distance between Norman and our tram, because he is still staring at us. So creepy. I was gonna bring you up here anyways to show you the psycho house here to the left. I'm so sorry about that, everybody. Wow, I was not expecting that to happen today. That Norman Bates, he is just plain scary. And speaking of plain scary, check out this crash site. This is from Steven Spielberg's 2005 film War of the Worlds. Here to tell you a little bit more about this area are set designer Rick Carter and director Steven Spielberg.
The airplane crash site is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around the vision of the studio.
You sit down and talk about what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing great. Keep listening. Listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay?
Whatever happened to the sun? Yeah. What else is he doing?
Robbie, get in. Get in.
Yes, this is a real 747 out here. It was purchased from an airplane graveyard in the Mojave Desert, and they ended up having to shear the top half of the plane off because it wouldn't fit through the freeway overpasses while they were driving it here. They did intend to put it back together, but Spielberg liked the look of it so much that he decided to leave it the way that it was. Steven Spielberg is not the only award-winning director that we've been lucky enough to work with here at Universal. We've also collaborated with Oscar winner Jordan Peele on his films Get Out, Us, and Nope, and we do have the actual sets of Jupiter's Claim from Nope here on the lot.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, the nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Jude Park. Over there, look into the winking well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Show. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? What? A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience. Built to showcase an unbelievably new live show. It's not looking so live anymore. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy, gold rush frontier town, lies a sinister secret. It is smack dab in the center of the UFO hotspot. What's a bad miracle? Welcome to the world of no.
Get out of here. Now, as I mentioned, these are the actual sets of Jupiter's Claim used to film Nope. However, none of those scenes were filmed here on our lot. They were all filmed on location up near Santa Clarita, California, and once they were done filming, they brought the sets here and reconstructed them for us to enjoy from our trams. From the very beginning, when he first started working on Nope, Jordan Peele knew he wanted those sets to be a part of our tour because he's been such a big fan of our tour for so many years. Steven Spielberg is also a very big fan of our tour and of our studio in general. We've had a very long relationship with him throughout the years, and we even have a road here on our lot named after him. Spielberg really does consider us to be his home studio, so for one final time this tour, I'm going to bring him up to tell you a little bit more about his history with Universal.
My entire career began with my relationship with Universal Studios just as a high school kid on a tour bus. Remember, in those days, there weren't trams, there were buses called the Gray Line Tour Bus. And I was so excited and thrilled to be on the lot. This was my first time ever on a movie studio lot. And during a bathroom break, I hid in the bathroom, and when everybody left to get back on the bus, I waited another 15 minutes until I'm sure the bus left, and then I had the entire lot to myself that day. And in those days, movie lots were so crowded because all movies were made on film lots. Today they're made all over the world, on locations, but most of it was focused in those days, in the 60s, on the film lots. So nobody noticed me when I was going around from soundstage to soundstage, and I really felt, in my own young way, I owned the lot and had the most amazing day of my life.
And much like Steven Spielberg and Jordan Peele, I have so much love for this tour, for this studio. I love getting to be here every day, and I'm really grateful that I get to share my knowledge with everybody. So I want to thank you all so much for joining me on this tour today. Huge thank you to our incredible driver, Eric, for getting us through safely. Let's give him a big round of applause, everybody. Thank you, Eric. I'd also like to thank any annual pass members that I have on board today. If you're not a pass member and you'd like to become one, you can head up to the box office on the upper lot and ask how you can upgrade today's tickets to an annual pass. Make sure you download the Universal Studios Hollywood app.
That's
where
right,
you'll find information including today's park hours, weekends, mobile ordering, and more. And to purchase any of the Universal movies or shows you've seen on the tour today, you can visit upe.com for more info.